Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, have a seat. Thank you. Good afternoon, students, staff, and honored guests. My name is Kristen Castile, and I am principal here at Colerain Middle School. Welcome to the 2024 Colerain Middle School Veterans Day Assembly. Today, we gather to express our heartfelt gratitude to the brave veterans who have served our nation. We have a meaningful program planned to celebrate their service today. Our assembly will include inspiring performances by the Colerain Middle School Orchestra, Chorus, and Band, an address from a distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Mark Graber, a special reading by our Student Council President, a presentation to recognize all veterans in attendance today. Thank you for joining us as we honor and remember those who have given so much for our freedom. Let's show our sincere appreciation and respect throughout today's program. At this time, please stand and join our Student Council President, Ms. Imani Butts, who will lead us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as our chorus performs the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our 8th grade band. Next, we have a musical tribute sung by the Colerain Middle School Chorus, tribute to the armed services. Veterans, if you would please stand as your branch of service is played.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along.
Great job, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and honor now to introduce our guest speaker today. We are honored to welcome Master Sergeant Mark Graber as our guest speaker. A proud Colerain alum, Master Sergeant Graber attended Colerain Middle School and graduated from Colerain High School in 2001. He began his dedicated military service on May 13, 2003, when he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. He was stationed in Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana and was mobilized in 2005 to assist in the Hurricane Katrina relief efforts. He went on to serve overseas, deploying to Balad, Iraq from 2006 to 2007, and to Bagram, Afghanistan from 2008 to 2009. In May 2009, he transitioned from active duty to the Air Force Reserves at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, continuing to serve with distinction, including a deployment to a classified location in 2013. Master Sergeant Graber retired from the U.S. Air Force on June 3, 2023, after a remarkable 20 years of service to our nation. Today, we are grateful to have him here to share his experiences and inspire us with his story. Let's give a welcome to Master Sergeant Mark Graber.
Thank you, Ms. Castile. It's an honor to be able to speak to you guys today. My name is Mark Graber. I attended Colerain Elementary, Colerain Middle School, where I had Miss Grimm as an art teacher, like most of you. And then I graduated from Colerain High School in 2001. My daughter Isabel, who's behind me, is a senior at Colerain High School. My son Connor is a freshman at Colerain High School. Today is Veterans Day. It's a day that serves as a reminder to the debt we owe to our veterans. Unlike Memorial Day, which specifically honors those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, Veterans Day celebrates all that have served, regardless whether they served in wartime or peace. It is a day for us to express our deepest gratitude to the men and women who have answered their nation's call to duty. Originally, Veterans Day was known as Armistice Day, which commemorated the end of World War I. President Woodrow Wilson started this in 1919. Armistice means an agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fighting for a certain amount of time, or a truce. In 1954, after World War II, the Korean War, Congress passed a law that changed the name to Veterans Day to honor all U.S. military veterans, not just those that served during World War I. The first Veterans Day under this new name was observed November 11th, 1954. The date of November 11th remains significant because it marks the anniversary that ended World War I. This took effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. And it continues to serve as a day to honor and thank all veterans for their service. When we think of veterans, we often think of soldiers in uniforms, marching in parades, being honored at sporting events, or depicted in war movies. But behind every uniform is a person with a personal story. If you ever see a veteran and listen to their stories, you will learn the foundation of how our country and how we have sacrificed to save our democracy for so many years. You will hear about the sacrifices that they and their families and friends have made to our country to make our country what it is today. With that said, here's a little bit of my story. After graduating high school in 2001, I worked a few different places trying to find my place in life. I worked for my family's construction company, I worked for the village of Glendale, and I enjoyed what I was doing. But I wanted more with my life. May 13th, 2003, I enlisted in the United States Air Force. I attended 6 weeks of basic military training at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. I followed that with 12 weeks of technical training at Wichita Falls, Texas. I was assigned then to Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana, where I stayed until 2009. My job was to provide electric for the base. We use normal commercial electric like you guys do at home, but in the event of a major power outage, we would provide backup generator power. Some of these generators would power offices for people to do their work. Some of these generators would power the equipment on the airfield to maintain aircraft operations. Some of them would power the buildings that maintained all the communication for aircraft that were in combat. We also provided, another job I had was maintaining the aircraft arresting system. This is a very similar cable system that we have on aircraft carriers that stop aircraft from falling off of the aircraft carrier. We would just use them on the regular airfields. During my time at Barksdale, I promoted from the rank of E1 to E5 Staff Sergeant. In 2005, I was mobilized for Hurricane Katrina relief efforts in southern Louisiana. Our job was to get the airport cleaned up to where we could start receiving aid such as food, medical supplies, and people for the recovery efforts. In 2006, I deployed to Balad, Iraq. I spent a little over 7 months there. My job there, I worked with the local nationals, people from Turkey, Ukraine, Iraq, a lot of foreign countries, to help rebuild Iraq. We built homes, we built buildings, we built airfields. It was very difficult working with them, as you can imagine, because we did not speak the same language. So we had to learn how to communicate, whether it was learning their language or just gestures. Let's see. In 2008, I deployed to Bagram, Afghanistan. I spent 8 months there. This time my job was to maintain the entire base infrastructure. This ranged from electrical to utility lines, plumbing, all the airfield maintenance. My team was 7 people, and we had 24-hour operations. We did not sleep a lot. We just worked. In 2009, I left active duty and joined the Air Force Reserve, stationed out at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. I promoted from E5 Staff Sergeant to E7 Master Sergeant. I started off just another guy in my shop, and I retired as the superintendent of my entire section. During this time, I did a 6-month deployment in 2013 to a classified location. Had a lot of fun there, just can't tell you about it. In 2015, I took over as my squadron's first sergeant. This job is basically being your teacher, your counselor, and your assistant principal all at the same time. I did this for 4 years, and I really enjoyed every bit of it. When I left that position, I moved into a different senior leadership position as the facility superintendent. I retired in 2003 after serving a little over 20 years in the Air Force. Not every day was fun, but I love the fact that I was able to do the things I did, meet the people I met, and be able to see the things I did. Many veterans continue to serve in their communities as leaders, mentors, teachers, and as examples of perseverance and strength. They bring with them a sense of duty, responsibility, and sacrifice that continues to inspire those around them. On this Veterans Day, let us also remember the families of our veterans, the spouses, children, and parents who have loved ones through deployments, long separations, and the uncertainties of military life. Their sacrifices are often quiet, but no less significant. They too deserve our thanks and recognition. So I did talk to Ms. Grimm before this and asked her if there were a couple of students that might have some questions that they would like to ask me. I believe we have 6 students. If they would like to come up. Got 5. We got all 6?
What was your favorite place you've traveled while to serving?
So the question was, what was your favorite place you traveled while serving? So I enjoyed going to a lot of different places when I served. I visited over 25 different states in America, and I visited over 15 different countries. Ireland and Spain were some of my favorite countries I visited, but my absolute favorite place I went to was Alaska. I know it's stateside. A lot of you are thinking, oh, it's something not overseas. Alaska was beautiful. The country there was gorgeous, and you can go there without a passport. So if you've never been to Alaska, you should probably go check it out.
What was your favorite job you had while in the Air Force?
So the question was, what was your favorite job while you were in the Air Force? My favorite job, I actually served 1 year as a member of the Base Honor Guard. The Base Honor Guard provides all the military colors and funerals for retired and active duty military members. I carried the American flag in numerous sporting events, parades, marches, different things. My favorite of doing that, I carried the American flag for the Independence, the College Football Independence Bowl, and the North American Hockey Championship.
Did you miss home? How often did you get to come home?
So the question, did you miss home, and how often did I get to come home? I'd be lying if I said no, I didn't miss home. Home is a fun place to be. I would come home twice a year when I was active duty. I typically try to come home a little after Christmas, then once during the summer. When I was in Iraq in 2006, I would be able to call home about once every week or two. Now, some of the veterans from previous wars, they used to write letters home. And it would be weeks, if not months, before their communications reached back. So I was privileged to be able to communicate once every week or two. With the technology age, when I went to Afghanistan, the internet was starting to come around. A lot of you are like, the internet, that's every day. That was not every day. It wasn't. So we were able to communicate probably every couple of days. 2013, on my final deployment, I actually had a cell phone that I could make calls back to the States pretty well anytime I wanted. I could even receive calls from here. So the communication was a lot easier with video chats and things like that.
How old were you when you enlisted, and what made you decide to enlist?
So that's a pretty good question. The question was, how old were you when you enlisted, and what made you decide to enlist? I joined the Air Force when I was 19. I had worked multiple jobs and just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be able to make a difference. My brother had joined the Air Force a few years prior to me. I also had a very good friend that had been in the service for about 7 years. Those are two people that I had looked up to, and I was proud of what they were accomplishing. I wanted to be able to do something that made a difference in my life, and that's why I chose the Air Force.
What are some life lessons that serving in the military taught you?
I'll still repeat that question even though everybody heard it. What are some life lessons that serving in the military taught me? I cannot count the number of lessons I've learned while serving in the military, but I'll hit 3 of them. The world is small. People that I met early on in my career, I saw again years later, and it was in different parts of the world that I would meet these people. Number 2, no matter what you do your best. If you're going to take the time to do something, you do it right. If you don't do it right the first time, you do it a second time or a third time, so just do it right the first time. And finally, respect everyone. You never know who they will become, or if you will need something from them, or if they will need something from you. So treat everybody with respect.
What advice do you have for anyone joining the military?
So the question was, what advice do you have for anyone planning to join the military? Joining the military is a very huge decision. Right now, we have the opportunity to choose to join. Years ago, that option wasn't there. There were people drafted. They didn't have the option. It is a life-changing decision, but I will tell you it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Not every day was easy, and not every day was hard. I was able to do things I never thought I'd be able to do. I was able to become a mentor and a leader because I applied myself and strived to be the best person I could be. So if you want to join, talk to your friends and talk to your family. It's a commitment that you should not take lightly. Find someone that you respect, that served, and see what they think. If you give it your all, you can do some really fun things and make some really good friends, and maybe even a career out of it like I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Sergeant Graber. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to recognize our veteran guests in attendance. If you'll stand when your name is called, please. Walter Gordon, grandfather of Imani Butts, serving in the Army. Ellen Kohlmeyer, grandmother of Reagan Capel, serving in the Navy. Gary Craig, grandfather of Caleb Craig, serving in the Army. David Eschenbrenner, father of Shea Eschenbrenner, serving in the Navy. Joe Lindsay, uncle of Nolly Evans, serving in the Army. Todd Abel, uncle of Adler Feitz, serving in the Army. Rob Heller, grandfather of Adler Feitz, serving in the Army. Sue Hollenbeck, aunt of Ariana Forte, serving in the Army. Mark Graber, father of Isabel and Connor Graber, serving in the Air Force. Joseph Klein, uncle of Chloe Hilton, serving in the Navy. Rhea McCannaha, cousin of Chloe Hilton, serving in the Army. Jack Hines, grandfather of Eliana Hines, serving in the Army. Richard Oberjahan, grandfather of Eliana Hines, serving in the Army. Robert Burton, father of Kalia Hood Burton, serving in the Army. Sandy Hostler, grandmother of Audrey Hostler, serving in the Navy. Dwayne Thomas, a grandfather of Olivia Jones, serving in the Army. Christopher Marcus, father of Riley and Reagan Marcus, serving in the Marines. Mike Justice, grandfather of Riley and Reagan Marcus, serving in the U.S. Navy. Bill Chardine, family friend of Braden Meyer Jones, serving in the Army. Steve Mitchell, grandfather of Abby Mitchell, serving in the Marines. Larry Mussig, grandfather of David Mussig, serving in the Air Force. Jeff Peters, father of Jacob Peters, serving in the Army. Troy Spratt, uncle of Jacob Peters, serving in the Marines. Richard Kane, grandfather of Isabel Pitzer, serving in the Army. Archie Clay, father of Genesis Polite, serving in the Army. James Williams, grandfather of Julia Sanderson, serving in the Navy. Ashley Ray, mother of Arya Ray, serving in the Army. Paul Schrenk, father of Zoe Schrenk, serving in the Air Force. Timothy Chow, uncle of Mila Schultz, serving in the Marines. Jeff Cly, grandfather of Aubrey Van Druten. Bill Weiland, great-grandfather of Zara Weiland, serving in the Army. Jamie White, mother of Brooklyn and Jocelyn White, serving in the Air Force. Steve Moorhead, grandfather of Christopher Ziegler, serving in the Army. Charles White, great-grandfather of Christopher Ziegler, serving in the Army. And Kerry Ziegler, father of Christopher Ziegler, serving in the Navy. Oh, we have more. Joseph Ziegler, grandfather of Christopher Ziegler, serving in the Navy. Bryce Jervik, brother of Braden and Brentley Presser, serving in the Army. Angela Sellers, cousin of Robin Gertis, Tanner Gertis, Amelia Buter, and Corbin Buter, serving in the Navy. Benita Gutter, grandmother of Jordan Gutter, serving in the Air Force. Bill Dayton, grandfather of Jaden Logan, serving in the Navy. John Torek, community member of I'm not sure who, serving in the Navy. Charles Robinson, grandfather of Kenneth Fox, serving in the Army. And last but not least, our veterans connected to staff in the Northwest Local School District. We have Richard Huck, grandfather of teacher Jessica Cooper, serving in the Army. Don Palmer, grandfather Bob King, oh, we're back. Bob King, cousin of Kathy Grimm, serving in the Army. David Meadows, Assistant Principal, Colerain Middle School, serving in the Navy. Officer John Pearson, Resource Officer, Colerain Middle School, serving in the Army. Roger Pearson, father of Claire Schneider, serving in the Army. Thomas Schneider, father-in-law of Claire Schneider, serving in the Air Force. Ben Gerdson, spouse of Brittany Taylor, teacher at Colerain Middle School, serving in the Army. Chris Heather, board member of Northwest Local School District, serving in the Air Force. And Daryl Yater, superintendent, Northwest Local School District, serving in the Army. I sincerely hope we did not miss any veterans, but if we did, we missed one. Who? Let's give all our veterans a round of applause. Thank you for your service. At this time, our orchestra will present Honor and Glory. I have one more recognition, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Lewis Brad Johnson II, grandfather of London Garrett. Please stand. Right, at this time, our Student Council President, Ms. Zamani Butts, will read for us in Flanders Field.
In the Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up your quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Students and guests, that concludes our program today at Colerain Middle School. Let's give a round of applause for our veterans and performers this afternoon. At this time, students will return to class with teachers while our band plays America the Beautiful and Grand Old Flag.